How might you secure ongoing feedback from students that is honest about what's working and what's not? In this video, we'll look at the Global Online Academy Catalyst Card, Student to Teacher Feedback. We'll talk about strategies for collecting useful feedback from your students, and we'll look at an example from GOA's course, Beyond Photoshop. One of the great advantages of working in the online learning environment is that you and your students can engage with the space in many different ways at many different times. This allows you to leverage lots of different tools for collecting feedback from students depending on the type of feedback you want. Simple online tools like polls, quizzes, and surveys can be easily published and distributed online for feedback. You can also leverage tools like learning management systems or other websites to look at data and analytics that show how your students engage and behave in the online learning environment. In addition, the asynchronous format of online learning allows for students to reflect and think about and compose meaningful feedback that might not be able to be delivered when they're put on the spot in a classroom. What's important about any method you use is that you validate your students' feedback by showing that you are listening and that you can implement changes that you feel will work for the entire course. Let's look at an example from Beyond Photoshop. In this course, where students learn how to code in the language processing in order to make three-dimensional art, the teacher included lectures as part of his weekly modules, and at the end of each week he asked his students to give him feedback about how effective his lectures were. He specifically asked his students to submit via an assignment so only the teacher would be able to see what the feedback was, and he specifically asked them to submit via video. As you can see here, the student submitted a video where she delivered some feedback for the teacher. She talked about what worked for her, she talked about what didn't work for her, and she was able to communicate clearly what she wanted from the lectures. This is leveraging asynchronous learning well. The student got to pick the time and the place in order to make this video and really got to sit and think about what she wanted to say before she said it. In addition, you'll notice that the teacher also highlighted that she provided good feedback. He's going to keep working on these lectures and make sure that they are working for this student. All of this is visible in the online learning environment. Both teacher and student can look at this feedback, revisit it if they want to, but know that it's being validated in a clear way. To help your students feel like they're collaborators with you in their own learning process, it's important to collect their feedback as often as you can. What's useful about online and blended learning is that there are many different tools that you can use to help better understand how your students are learning and how you can work on your teaching in real time in order to adjust to their needs.